Do you feel like there isn't enough time in a day for you to do the things you want to do? Have you ever felt like isolating yourself from your routine so that you can give time to things you love? Do you believe if you had more time, you would be on better terms with yourself and your loved ones? If yes, this podcast will help you to better understand the concept of time poverty and help you manage your time effectively and efficiently. Hello, and welcome to the podcast on how to take charge of your time. I am a counselor working with Dr. Prerna Kohli. Dr. Kohli is a clinical psychologist and the founder of MindTribe. At MindTribe, we provide affordable counseling, support groups, communities, workshops, and e-learning for improving your mental health. You might have experienced this when you fail to manage your time efficiently. One thing leads to another, and we end up in an endless cycle of incomplete tasks and goals. We often hear people say, "I don't have time." This phrase should be revised. All of us have 24 hours a day. Some manage to meet all of their priorities and still get some leisure hours, and some of us don't. So why is that? Studies have elaborated that the actual problem is not lack of time, but the lack of time management, planning, and procrastination. Feeling time poor can lead to confusion, stress, and anxiety. So the solution lies in the skill of time management. In this podcast, we will talk about the concept of time poverty, time management, and its relation to happiness and anxiety. Let's start by understanding what time poverty is. It's having the feeling of having a lot of things to do and not enough time to do it. It's not necessarily about the objective amount of time you have, but instead, the subjective feeling of overwhelm and being pulled in many directions. Time poverty is indirectly linked to mental and physical well-being. So the question is having more time the solution to time poverty? Studies were conducted to see if time affluence, which means having the sense that one has ample time available on a regular basis, is the solution to this issue. Results showed that as the hours of leisure time increased, that there was a negative relation between time affluence and happiness. Having more leisure time can lead to feelings of lack of productivity, boredom, and other issues. On the other hand, completing your priorities and then having a few leisure hours helped with time affluence and directly affected mental well-being. Hence, the true solution to time poverty is not having more hours but strategic scheduling of time. We all try to organize our time better but fail to keep up. Some of the possible reasons of feeling time poor can be lack of time management skills. Time management is a very important skill. So, what exactly is time management? Time management can be defined as an individual's ability to manage their time in a way that allows them meet all their work commitments while maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Time management can help you complete your projects and tasks, and at the end of the day get yourself a few leisure hours to indulge in activities that you love and care about. Most of us are unable to strategize our time properly, which leads to messed up schedules and failure to fulfill commitments. The second reason can be taking up more obligations than we can handle. Now, there is a thin line between time management and lack of planning. We can be a victim of time poverty simply because of a lack of planning. Undertaking multiple duties simultaneously can be physically and mentally draining in the long run. We can deliver the best of our skills with efficiency only if we are physically and mentally healthy. Procrastination is another reason for feeling time poor. Procrastination is the act of delaying something important that must be done. We all procrastinate from time to time. However, when we develop a habit of putting off necessary actions, even when we face negative consequences, procrastination can affect our well-being. We might delay a task because it is unpleasant or boring, or we lack belief in our skills, but there can be a lot to add. Procrastination can be a consequence of mental and physical issues. The issue can range from poor impulse control and low self-esteem to depression, anxiety disorders, and ADHD. However, avoid self-diagnosis. So you ask me, what are the possible effects of feeling time poor? Recent studies show a time-poor person is affected in a lot of ways. You might have experienced it that when you feel time poor, you tend to avoid making fresh food and rather make something ready to eat. Studies have found that people who feel time poor tend to be less healthy because of the idea of lacking time to take care of their body and indulge in necessary activities like exercising or making fresh healthy food or getting enough sleep. Another research showed that time poverty has an inverse relation with confidence. Many students and employees have felt that feeling time poor has a significant effect on their confidence. A decline in altruistic behaviors of people can also be related to time poverty. People take fewer initiatives in social altruistic behavior and prefer not to participate in social activities. Individuals with time poverty feel emotionally drained, stressed, confused, and unhappy. They fail to manage their relations with their loved ones and even with themselves. In essence, lack of time management and anxiety coexists and create a cycle that inversely affects our happiness. So, I guess the follow-up question you have for me is, how do you deal with time poverty and take charge of your time? I am pretty certain that is what you wanted to know. So here we go. Time is the most valuable asset to any human. In this world where we have too much to manage, it's important to organize time well to strategically create a work-life balance. Regression analysis conducted shows that time management is a significant predictor for increasing happiness in young adults. There are a lot of ways to slowly learn the skill of time management, however, all of them have to be followed with discipline and patience. Try out this scientifically proven process to learn the skill of time management. Firstly, you can start by keeping track of your daily activities. Before you develop an effective time management strategy, you first need to record and analyze how you are currently spending your time each day. Here are some things that you can do. Note what you're doing. Watch for problems. Consider ways to improve. A daily planner or calendar can be a good way to start tracking your time, but there are also plenty of online resources. Set aside time to relax, be sure to add a little time for leisure activities and spend time with your loved ones each week. Research has shown that leisure activities in area of interest and some time with your loved ones can lead to improvement in mental well-being. Once you have an idea of your activities, prioritize them. It's important to understand that being busy does not mean you are being productive. You can be very busy without living out your priorities. It's a disappointing place to be and not a wise use of your time. It's important to learn what your most important tasks are and how to prioritize them. Now, once you know your priorities, plan your day. As Alan Lakin said, failing to plan is planning to fail. Having a plan ensures that you have a better and more organized way of executing your priorities. Once you realize that you are making healthy progress on your most important tasks, it builds up to positive momentum for the rest of the day. And lastly, put the plans into action and reward yourself for accomplishing significant tasks. Extensive research has been conducted on the link between human productivity and the use of external rewards. Based on the simplest principles of operant conditioning in behavioral psychology, rewards serve as positive reinforcement for behaviors that we want to encourage. When you make it a habit to reward yourself after the completion of every significant task, you motivate yourself to work more productively in anticipation of the reward. And before I end this podcast, here are some other healthy practices that you can try are: try to set up deadlines and meet them. It is tough but doable once you set your mind on it. It's better to focus on tasks one by one and avoid multitasking. Multitasking is a no-no. You can try to start your day early than to end late. There is an old saying, early to bed and early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy and wise. I am not sure about other things, but it certainly helps in finishing your tasks. Make sure to maintain frequency of regular breaks. As they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Try to block distractions when you engage in a task. Yes, you need to focus on the task at hand. And lastly, make sure that you get enough rest, especially get enough sleep each night. We need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. When you feel restless, there is a full possibility of lacking attention and hence lack of focus in any activity, leading to frustration and inefficient delivery of required task. Your body needs to rest physically and mentally. Getting enough sleep and meditating are good practices to physically and mentally relax yourself. The final point to reflect upon before I end this podcast. The issue of time poverty is acknowledged by almost each one of us. However, if we will add more perspective to it, we will get to know that it's not the lack of time which makes us anxious, but rather it's the poor strategies of management of time which causes us anxiety and less time for ourselves. The skill of time management is necessary for academic achievement, professional development, and a better happy lifestyle. This podcast aims to help individuals to manage their time effectively and efficiently. Thank you and take care.